So I got a little bit more painted on the K10. I painted the sides and the back. I got tired of the metal that I wasn't working on rusting, so it was easier to just paint everything and then just work on the little areas and then repaint it again when I get done. At least it narrows down the work area to little small bits and pieces. But the tanks, rockers, all that's all painted. I did some of the body work. I fixed where all the plug welds were. Where the tank is welded to the door jamb. That's pretty much done. I still got to work on this pillar. At least it's narrowed down. I mean, got to work on the whole thing. I did the rocker and the cab corner. As far as getting the cab corner set up for the door, it's pretty straight. You can see the imperfection. That was a weld line that I didn't get flush, but at least with paint on there, it makes it easier to find the defects. But I did the corner to see how it's going to come out as far as sanding it. I didn't get real crazy with it, but from the section that I welded in, which is kind of right there and down, I mean, it's a pretty straight line going up. We'll find out when the door gets on there of how much I need to sand, but I don't have much to work with as far as how far I can kind of curve that. It's basically all metal. I welded onto the edge and then added the body filler so I could kind of make it more round. So we'll see when the door goes on how it goes, but I don't think there's going to be an issue with it. But it's pretty finished. Then the back of it, I don't think you can tell that I put it on there. I even made sure that that little seam was there. Still needs work. But the biggest thing is Suburban fuel tank is in there. I got this bar on here on the body lift so I know how high the filler neck sits up. Like I said, I was going to have to do a half moon on there. You can see it's right at the bottom of the bar, so a little half moon will fix it. It's a 40-gallon Suburban tank from Advanced Auto Parts. Gives me plenty of gas for big tires and getting stuck. But it fits in there. I basically copied Mr. White LS1 is his username. I think he switched it to Dick's 4x4 Garage. This is basically how he did it. Suburban straps are bolted to the rear cross member. When he did it, he used a K5 Blazer tank. I used the Suburban tank. K5 Blazer tank, I think, is 32 gallons. But he had his rear cross member pushed back. I still need to be able to have a hitch put on here. So, as for that is, this angle bar is going to get welded. Then I'll have the rubber underneath it. This is the cross member, the factory cross member that sits in front of the rear cross member. Same thing he did, flip it over. It sits on there at an angle so the tank can't go forward and it can't go up. Then the rear cross member mount for the straps is just angle iron. And it's all bolted in there. I still got to get all the rubber for it, for the straps and for the top bar and this rear bar. But it fits in there. It takes up all the rail. So there's not a whole lot of room in there. But it fits. I mean, I didn't have to do anything to it. Aside from drill the holes for the brackets. You just fish it up in there in these little notches. There it goes in there. That's how it looks from the bottom. I'll end up making a skid plate for it. At least so rocks and stuff don't puncture a hole in it. That'll be later. I wanted to get the bed on there. I figured I'd get this mocked up. and then I get everything all painted so I can just bolt it in there once the bed's on there. I got to get the sending unit and stuff, but I think it looks pretty good. As this side, like I said, I didn't want to keep sanding metal that was rusting that I wasn't working on. You can see the cab corner's not finished, but at least for the most part, everything else is. And that's it for the update. So the Suburban tank fits in a K10. You just gotta have the room for it. I'll figure out the exhaust, but I think the exhaust will still come around and then go in between the leaf spring mount and the fuel tank, and then go out the back. But that's it for the update.